If Dana White thought these questions were going to be easy, he was in for a surprise. Because in this interview, he's asking people to believe two things at the same time. First, that he's still a center-left Democrat who hasn't really changed politically. And second, that Donald Trump, a man he's publicly defended and spoken for at conventions, has been completely unfairly labeled and has done nothing that would justify accusations of racism. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now that's where things get interesting. Because when questions come up about some of Trump's most controversial moments, Dana White's response is often that he either hasn't seen them or doesn't believe they reflect who Trump really is. In this clip, David Remnick of The New Yorker calmly presses Dana White on his relationship with Trump and the criticisms that have followed Trump for years. There's no shouting and no dramatic confrontation, just direct questions that force Dana White to explain his position. Let's watch the clip, and afterward I'll give you my thoughts on what stood out the most.
In my 20s, my late teens and 20s, I spent in Massachusetts, which is very liberal. Yeah, I would consider myself a 80s, 90s Democrat.
Have you changed over time politically?
No, I haven't changed.
So you remain a kind of center-left Democrat?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
Do you talk politics with Trump? Or did you before the first convention?
No.
That wasn't a currency of your conversation, of your relationship?
If you look at any of my speeches at the conventions or any of that, I don't ever say the left is wrong or the left is bad or the left is this. I spoke about who he is as a person and as a friend and as a human being, because a lot of the narrative that they put out there about him and who he is as a person is gross.
But doesn't he
absolutely positively not true.
Okay, so let's dig into that a little bit too. I think it's fair to say that if he has that reputation, it doesn't come from outer space.
Oh, it does. It comes from politics. That's where it comes from.
But doesn't it come from some of his rhetoric and some of his way of treating people and talking about people? And
no, I think that, listen, did I wish that back in the day he'd stay off Twitter a little bit more and things like, listen, he's a tough guy and he's not afraid to give his opinion, but he's been talking about politics since he was young. I mean, if you look back at him, but these things that he's a racist and he's a Nazi and he's this and that. I mean, Donald Trump, all this stuff's coming out now. The Michael movie just came out, and you see all these videos now popping up of Trump defending Michael Jackson and the type of person that he was, and that Michael Jackson was around his children and around his family a lot.
But wait a minute, Dana. Michael Jackson, as talented as he was, as brilliant as he was a deeply, deeply flawed human being,
no
to say
doubt
the
about
least, and was abusive. Everything we know about him.
Wait. He was
toward
abusive?
Kids. Yes, it's terrible.
I don't know if that's true. But I can tell you that, the president had a very good relationship with Michael Jackson and had Michael Jackson around his kids all the time and, defended him when that stuff was going down.
Do you ever talk politics with the president?
To call the guy a racist is crazy. He's not a racist.
Well, look, I don't want to go on endlessly about Donald Trump because, then that's all we'll do. But when he puts out a video that shows the Obamas as apes and then won't even apologize for it, you don't get the willies from that?
No, I've been around the guy so much,
but that doesn't give you pause, Dana?
As far as what?
About his views just about his way he talks about other human beings, much less race.
But if that's the way if he was that type of a person, first of all, I became friends with this guy, never even imagining that he would be the president of the United States someday.
Right.
And if he was that type of person, I would never associate with that type of a person, no matter who he was or who he thinks he is.
But if he does that, how is he not that kind of person?
He's not.
But do you know something that I don't? In other words, what you're telling me is that you kind of know, of course you know him better personally, but he's the most transparent personality we have in public life. He talks to the press all the time. He's on social media all the time. It seems sometimes there's nothing that we don't know about him.
Very true.
So he's almost as apparent to me as he is to you.
And I didn't I don't know about the Obama thing to speak. To speak on it. I've never seen it. I didn't know that, but I can tell you this: he's not a racist. He's not a fascist. He loves this country, and if you're an American, race, religion, whatever it is, President Trump is on your team. That I guarantee.
And this is where Dana White's defense starts to unravel. Throughout the interview, he describes himself as a center-left Democrat, yet he can't point to a single thing Donald Trump has done wrong. At some point, those two positions become difficult to square. If you're defending someone at every turn, people are going to question where you really stand politically. Then there's the claim that he never saw the controversial Obama video. That's a tough argument to buy. The moment he acknowledges it, he's forced to answer questions that don't fit the narrative he's trying to present. What stood out most to me was Dana White's insistence that Trump's reputation comes entirely from politics. But reputations are shaped by years of public comments, actions, and controversies. People form opinions based on what they see, not just what they're told. By the end of this interview, the pattern was pretty clear. Present yourself as politically moderate, defend Trump at every opportunity, and claim ignorance whenever uncomfortable questions arise. And that's exactly why this exchange left so many people unconvinced. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.